Top 5 reasons Dabo Swinney was in the wrong. Now, I'll preface this by saying you have to defend yourself when a caller takes a shot at you. But going for 5 minutes, like Brando just said an hour ago, that's where you lose it, where you start kind of then pontificating, and then you lose it. So, number 5, you get paid to be the bigger man, Dabo.
No, you're right. That's true.
You get paid to be the bigger man. So when a caller, one thing you have to, like when he calls up and says, you make $11.5 million, we paying you too much, all of that, remember that you make $11.5 million and you've won at life. And you don't know, caller on the other end, who this is. But you're doing well. No matter even your 4-4 season, you have had success that you have earned.
Yeah, and 14-year-old, what his name was,
Tyler.
right? Tyler.
Yeah.
Could have been 53-year-old Marge.
It doesn't matter. They're a caller. Like, you have to see them, especially when you're Dabo Swinney, they're all one big faceless person who's asking you questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is, because the minute you name the puppy, then it becomes something you have to, like.
I think Tim pretty much agreed with how we said it. One, he went too long, and he got a little bit too defensive on trying to, prop up his resume. He doesn't need to.
No.
Him getting upset, that remains to be seen. If you like Dabo, you like him fighting back. If you don't, Paul hates him. But I
wouldn't say that.
But he just went too long, and also you don't have to go through your resume. People know it.
Yeah, number 4, it doesn't matter where you started. Like you just said, Smokey, it doesn't matter where you started. At this point, your story, you can save that for the book when you retire. Whenever they write the book about you, that's where the story is interesting. When they do the Dabo documentary, I want to know where he started. And part of this, and I think it's kind of funny to me because he was the guy who was all shucks and Bobby Bowden and he had that kind of vibe. And then after 2020 hit, he kind of like a lot of people in America, he just got angry.
Yep.
And I don't think he stopped being angry since that point. If you go back to that year, 2020, where they won the title, right? In 2020, he had a lot of things he would say that you're like, man, you're just angry. Teams would cancel games, and he was like, they're dodging us to make the bowl game. You're like, well, that's already over. I don't know what you're stop being angry. You guys, things are going well for you guys right now.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride.
There's sometimes, though, and I will say this, and not in that neighborhood by any means, not even close. He has a lot of additional zeros to the left of the decimal point. Sometimes in that position,
it comes with pressure.
You say, well, how can you have there's pressure?
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't want to lose
people
it.
Who make $5, $7, $8, $12 million a year, make $500,000 a year. They still, you can make $40,000 or not. It's just there's certain people react differently.
Yeah, and you want to keep that up. You want to be, all that. Number 3, and this comes from the world of talk radio. The 3 of us in this room know it really well. It's the world that we came out of before we came onto YouTube here. Callers are always a risk. You know that. The minute you throw out a phone number, you know that you are only so much in control. Even, look, I've done radio shows where you have we didn't screen very much, and it worked out fine for us for most of the time. But then there were times where, we really have to screen this. You screen, and then you get a caller who wrecks your show.
Yeah, and we had one on this one for a while, and it was just we're trying to take legitimate, knowledgeable, insightful questions and comments, opinions, and then it would just kind of put it. It would just
you are absolutely. And the thing is that when you put the phone number out there, you're not also putting in qualifications like must have a high school diploma and a good work history and all that. The only requirement you have to call into a radio show is that you know how to work your phone. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
So after that, it is a crapshoot.
Yeah.
And
I'm really bad about this. I love callers. I really do. That's just always the way, because I started a show when I had nobody listening, and then the first call, you're like, wow, and they were good, but I'm bad about this, and I'm also probably sometimes, and Tim Brando mentioned this, responding or going back and forth on Twitter, because all it's going to do is end up in the gutter, but 9 out of 10 are good. And then even in the chat room, I've had a couple of times I've flared up. I'm more open to that. You don't? Let's go back. It was in late July. And that guy who made a comment on another site that was sent to me is a great dude. He's a great part of the chat room now. He just was what he said was uncalled for, and I wasn't going to let it go. But now I'm a kinder, gentler.
Yeah. Look,
David Allen.
You know what? You should call Dabo and tell him. Yeah, I've been through this.
I know a guy.
Good, just call him.
Remember Rick, who owns the restaurant.
I would absolutely, just as a fan, as a fan of the ACC, albeit not a fan of Clemson, like to see the kinder, gentler Dabo come back and not the grumpy Bible thumper. Like that, to me, I don't enjoy. While not appreciating how good he made that team because he's a great football coach, would appreciate a happier situation.
Yes.
I call it the Spurrier quotient.
Yeah.
I don't have to like your team, but if I can enjoy your personality, even as a rival, I think it makes it better.
The best philosophy is from who we just had on, John McClain on Twitter. He never looks at the replies.
Exactly.
See, I don't know if that's right.
I don't do it either. I hate replies.
Yeah, I know,
no
but there's some good people.
If you send me a direct message, I'm going to answer you.
No, I'll do that.
Unless you're just hateful, then I'm like, well.
One time a guy sent me a really hateful private message, and then I responded and as honestly, and I tried to do that anyway, and from the heart, and he felt like this tall.
Yeah.
Because what he thought he was saying to me was going to crush me, and all it did was empower me.
Yeah.
Because of who I was.
Kill him with kindness is a great philosophy.
No, it's not.
It's a great philosophy.
What do you mean?
Kill him with kindness. I love it. Number 2, you cannot demand appreciation. That is where he went wrong. And saying that, they haven't done this in 150 years and all that, because it comes across one of two ways. Either the way that you think you're saying it, or you bastards are lucky I'm here.
That's like when you get stopped by a police officer or somebody and they go, "Do you not know who I am?"
Yeah.
Then that always makes you look terrible.
You cannot play "Oh, you don't have a table for me."
Yeah.
You
mean I have to wait?
Yeah.
Like the human common denominator?
No, but that's where when you say you're demanding appreciation, and I know that partially in his mind he's also thinking about his players, but the question wasn't about his players. The question was about him. The comment was about him. So when he's answering it, these are things that you need to know. And look, I feel like I'm helping. Like if I was his PR agent, these are the things I'd be telling him. I would have no problem telling him if he walked in this room. Like these are where you messed up.
Yep.
It's fine. Look, you and I both have burned down callers when they've called in and said things. And sometimes they need to be, because sometimes they say really stupid and hateful things.
Yeah.
But other times you just need to let it go and be like, all right, well, thanks, kid. Maybe one day you can have my job. It's hard. I know we're 4-4, but here's why we're working on it. And then you move on, and you don't give Tyler from Spartanburg, who's, never going to be more famous than this, which is a bummer for him. He's only 14. Number 1, I quote The Godfather, this is the business we've chosen. This is the business that he's chosen. He knows it. The problem is that you surround yourself with people who can't call you out, who you don't want to hear it because you've got a singular focus, and it's been so good for so long you weren't ready for it to be bad.
Right.
But some of the most successful people I know in any walk of life they're not paranoid about it being bad, but they're prepared for the bad times because they know that every day is not sunshine and rainbows, but when you are in a dark cloud, you know that there are still sunshine and rainbows. One doesn't exist without the other. The reason you know that sunshine and rainbows are pretty is because you've had to sit through some dark clouds.
Yeah.
That's where I think that Dabo really messed up here is that, look, there were always going to be down years. Maybe you don't have as many in a row, but that's how sports works.
It also, could it not be Dabo in some roundabout way, knowing he probably did some things they should have been more aware of the current state of college football, and he may realize he's wrong, and so he's angry about that.
I think he's angry about the way everything's working right now. And anger is it's a poison, man. You can't, it's supposed to be something that lasts for a second.
If anger was a poison, I'd been dead 15 years
but
ago.
It is. It poisons you if you have it too long. It's supposed to be something you feel in a moment and are able to let go of. And the longer you hold on to things, the more it eats you up.
All right. Thank you, Paul, for the top 5. Craig's back with us tomorrow.